Your Excellency, in the same breath, we've passed the following bills and we await for your assent as per Article 91(3) of the Constitution: the Exercise Duty Amendment Bill, the Human Organ Donation Transplant Bill, the Museum and Monuments Bill, the National Sports Bill, the Markets Bill, the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Amendment Bill. Your Excellency, in the exercise of our representative role as enshrined under Article 78 of the Constitution, members of Parliament continue to diligently execute their duties in the various parliamentary committees, the House, and the various parliamentary and interparliamentary fora. I am confident that in the 11th Parliament, we are going to do a better job. In furtherance to oversight mandate, the House adjourned for 3 weeks. That was from 2nd February to enable members to go and monitor government programs, including parish development model. The members verified the status of disbursement of funds to local governments, existence and status of beneficiary groups, and utilization of disbursed funds. Your Excellency, we are in receipt of reports from members who went to the field for oversight role, and will debate those findings and forward it to executive for further action. Your Excellency, on behalf of Parliament, I would like to express my gratitude to you for your unwavering support during the budgeting process. With your consistent support, we believe Parliament will be adequately facilitated to execute our mandate of legislation, representation, oversight, and most importantly, appropriation to the expectation of all the Ugandans. Your Excellency, Section 8 and Section 13(3) of the Public Finance Management Act 2015 as amended requires the submission of tax and revenue bills and the draft annual budget to be presented to the House by 1st of April. Aware that you are the Chief Finance Minister, it is our plea that you cause the executive to ensure that we have the tax bills and the draft annual budget to respond to the prevailing socio-economic realities of the masses, notably in job creation, skilling, innovation, industrialization, infrastructure growth, environmental conservation, digital advancement, and gender parity. As a presiding officer, we expect further improvement in the performance of Parliament and its committees. And to achieve this, we will work together with the executive to ensure that we achieve what is expected of us. And we are steadfast in the commitment to ensure that there is more public consultation by committees in execution of their duties, evaluation of evidence in both committees and House, that is evidence-based legislation, regular reporting by committees on their undertakings, regular attendance and participation of committees and the House by both members of Parliament and the ministers, continued familiarization with the rules of procedure and legislative tools. Your Excellency, your address coincides with the impending commemoration of the first anniversary of the demise of my predecessor, that is Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah Lokori, the House will pay tribute to the enduring legacy on Thursday, 23rd March 2023. Your Excellency, still on a rather tragic note, we lost a member of Parliament, that is Honorable Patrick Okabe, MP of Serere, who passed on 21st December 2022, and he died of a fatal accident. May we rise up for a moment of silence in honor of our departed colleague.
May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Your Excellency and honorable members, in pursuit of interparliamentary relations and diplomacy, the Parliament of Uganda will host a plenary session of the Pan-African Parliament from 11th to 21st October 2023. And the Commonwealth Speakers and Presiding Officers Conference from 3rd to 6th January 2024. As it has been the tradition, when Uganda hosts such a high-profile international event, we will project a positive image of the Pearl of Africa and hasten the opportunities that come with such conferences. Your Excellency, following your guidance on concerns on the threats of homosexuality, what they pose to our children and society, the 11th Parliament has embarked on strengthening the legal regime to erect the moral firewall to protect and conserve our cherished cultural values as people. The House awaits the second reading of the anti-sexual bill, which is currently before the Committee of Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. The 11th Parliament is cognizant of the importance of maintaining our moral values as a foundation of order, sustainable growth, and development. Your Excellency, we thank you for your unequivocal support to the 11th Parliament in execution of its mandate. Now, honorable members, I would like to remind you of Rule 10, Sub-Rule 4A of our Rules of Procedure that state that the President, while occupying the chair of the state, may take a presidential statement which shall be heard in silence and not followed by any comment or question. I therefore implore you to abide to this rule so that we all benefit from the message that His Excellency is going to pass on to us and to the country at large. Once more, I want to welcome you. And in the public gallery this afternoon, we have the Right Honorable Dr. Richard Trodong Awany, Secretary General of the National Resistance Movement, and Professor Ephraim Kamuntu, a Senior Presidential Advisor. They've come to observe the proceedings. You're most welcome.
Item number 5, invitation by the Right Honorable Speaker to His Excellency the President to deliver to Parliament in accordance with Rule 1012 an address
in accordance with the Article 102 not rule. Your Excellency, as I stated earlier on, your role here today is in fulfillment of the constitutional mandate pursuant to Article 1012 of the Constitution. I now take the singular honor to invite you to address the House and the nation at large.
Excellency, Her Excellency the Vice President, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, His Lordship the Chief Justice, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Moses Chigongo, if he's here, the Right Honorable Secretary General of the NRM, other state and party leaders, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all and congratulate you on account of going through the following calamities in the last 3 years, because we have been through so many calamities. The calamities were the following: the locusts. Do you remember the locusts? The landslides, the floating islands, the rising waters of the lake, the corona pandemic, the Bijambias. You remember Bijambias. The problem of the high commodity prices caused by the Russian-Ukrainian war, the Ebola epidemic, the suicide bombers, etc., etc. The NRM assured you that with God's help, we would go through these calamities, and we did. Indeed, our economy, by end of this financial year, will grow by 5.3% to attain the GDP size of $49.3 billion by the exchange rate method and of $142.9 billion by the PPP method. However, I want this economy to grow by a factor of 10 to $500 billion in the next few years. And if you aggressively support my policy measures, we shall achieve it. How? I will tell you in the course of this speech. However, let me first tell you again that I congratulate Ugandans on account of going through the calamities enumerated above. I told you we would, and we did, all inconveniences and losses notwithstanding. It is in such circumstances that our Baganda people and Banyankore say, Aktwale kiro omusimo bukedde, wakutwala nyekiro omusimo bwashesha. The one who successfully guides you on a journey in the night, you thank him in the morning. Jesus had harsher words for his disciples. In the book of Mark, chapter 16, verse 14, he rebuked them for panicking in the storm when they were crossing the lake by saying, in quotes, "You people of little faith." He did that because those same disciples had seen the miracles Jesus had performed, and yet they panicked in the storm when Jesus was with them, although asleep in the boat. Although I do not want to compare the NRM with Jesus, there is no doubt that the NRM has, over the last 60 years, solved quite a number of historical problems. It is therefore fallacious for some elements to panic when we face any challenges. There are solutions to those challenges as long as we are patriotic, genuine, and not parasitic. However, before I go into the purpose of today's meeting, through the speaker, I would like us to stand up for a minute of silence to remember the 3,632 people that were killed by corona, the 55 that were killed by Ebola, those that died in the landslides, and recently 4 students of Kasaka SS in Gomba that were killed by a lorry that lost control, according to what the Prime Minister told me. So, Madam Speaker, if you don't mind, we could stand up to remember these people. I'm sure the Speaker has allowed me.
You are allowed, Your Excellency.
Thank you. May their souls rest in eternal peace. Thank you so much. I am now directing the State House Controller to send 5 million shillings to each of the families of the 4 students that died in that accident. I'm also directing the State House Controller to give 1 million shillings each to the 14 students that are injured and are in Gombe Hospital. The Prime Minister and the Attorney General should get in touch with the families of the dead children and the injured to ensure that the truck owners compensate the victims and their families according to the law. Because they may not know, they may just know that they're entitled to compensation. Our meeting today follows a telephone conversation I had with the Right Honorable Speaker over the phone on the issue of the Parish Development Model, PDM. As a consequence of that, I decided to again interact with you, the honorable members, on these issues. To properly contextualize the issue of PDM, I must remind the honorable members of the principles of the national resistance movement, which are patriotism, Pan-Africanism, socio-economic transformation, and democracy. PDM comes directly under principle number 3, socio-economic transformation, although it cannot thrive without the other 3, patriotism, Pan-Africanism, and democracy. I have pointed out before in many writings that society is like some of the insect species that go through a biological process known as metamorphosis, which has got a number of stages that start with an egg, caterpillar, pupa, and a mature butterfly, for instance. In the last 4.5 million years of human evolution, ever since man gained the Homo sapien form, the society he created has been metamorphosing. Karl Marx, by 1848, when he wrote the Communist Manifesto, pointed out that up to that point, society had gone through 5 social systems. These were the primitive communalism system, the slave state, feudalism, capitalism, and were then, that time of Karl Marx, entering the system of socialism and communism. Although some greedy and narrow-minded groups in the world completely dismissed this analysis, and indeed the communists made their own philosophical and strategy mistakes, there is no doubt that the method of class analysis of society is correct, and so is the phenomenon of social transformation. If those who claim to study social sciences in Africa were serious, they would have noticed the societies in Europe by the time of the Renaissance, 1400 AD, were 3 classes in societies, comprised of the feudalists, the peasants, and the artisans. By the time of the French Revolution, 1789, the European society had evolved into a 4-class society, being the feudalists, the aristocrats, the middle class, the bourgeoisie, as they were called, the proletariat, the working class, and the peasants. If you go to Europe today and you look for peasants and for feudalists, you will not get them. The society appears to have become a 2-class society comprised of the middle class and the skilled working class. Each of these historical social classes has got different productive capacity, high or low. What was the productive capacity of the primitive communalist societies? What was the productive capacity of the serfs, who are called Abasenze in our language here, Abebanja, on the land of the feudal landlords, Abairo, before 1928. What is the productive capacity of the bourgeoisie that are conscious of the difference between the input cost and the final price of a product that we call profit? What is the productive capacity, e.g. the industrial working class, that is skilled and working for wages? On account of some of the reasons that we do not have time to go into here, this social evolution, this social metamorphosis was faster in Europe than in Africa, Asia, or in the Americas. It is this lagging behind in social evolution that caused so much damage. By 1962, when Uganda got independence, the feudal class were not there any longer, or were much weakened by the colonial system. When Uganda got independence, and the artisan class, the feudal class, had either were not there any longer, or were much weakened by the colonial system. When Uganda got independence, and the artisan class, the details of all this, but I really suggest that you study these issues. It It was
Middle
only
class, either
the
were
peasants
they are not there any
eliminated
longer,
that were still alive,
or were much weakened
but
by
largely
the colonial system. When
not
Uganda got
involved in
in,
the
I asked them
new
the
economy
details of all
of
this,
money.
but I really suggest that you
By the census of 1969,
you study these issues.
as many as 96%.
It was
the
middle
only-
class, either
the
they are
peasants
not there any
eliminated
longer,
that were still alive,
or were much weakened
but
by the
largely
colonial system. When
not
Uganda got
involved
in,
in
I asked them
the
the
new
details of all
economy
this,
of
but
money.
I really suggest that you
By the
work your way for
census
the stomach.
of 1969,
You study
it
these
is at this
issues.
point as 96% that we came on the
It was
scene.
middle
Only
class,
the
either
96%
they are not there any longer,
they are still alive,
or were much
comparing with
weakened
our
by the
studies.
colonial system. When Uganda
What
got
had
in,
happened
I asked
in
them
Europe
the details of all
and
this,
North
but
America.
I really suggest
We
that
started wondering
Why
why
the
there
census
was
of
no similar
1969
socio-economic
studied
transformation. At this
as
point,
many as 96%
that we came on the scene. Only we found out through analysis, comparing with our studies, Uganda society, what can happen can change, and North America can change. We started wondering why there was no similar socio-economic transformation. At this point, these are that we came on the scene. Free education for all young and children through analysis, and all families what can happen can change. I'm glad we started wondering came to the district, and I was again able to show them how the pastors that whole huge area, especially for all young and children, Kazo, and I was again able to show them how the pastors, Baso Baraka, huge area, Zimbabwe, Gomba, Chejemba, Baso Kurende, what's it called, Shonga, Chibogan, like Guaniro, Chenkwanzi, Goma Wachato, Rudi na Kasongora, had partially underwent social economic transformation by stopping normal infancy, adopting dairy farming for cash, Rudi na Kasongora, had partially children's school at their cost. Social economic. I want to discuss that partial success, stopping normal the NRM caucus, so that we harmonize our thinking. I want to call it a special meeting of the NRM caucus, and we have children's school and discuss this, because I don't want to continue talking. I want to discuss that partial success, stopping normal the NRM caucus, so that if I harmonize our thinking, I want to come and special meeting with my guardians, the NRM caucus, and we have children's when I am, because I don't want to tell you, talking. I want to gather leaders that partial to see how to rescue their people from poverty. It's not correct that we should go like this, as if I am begging people to do something else. When we need to do this for our people, gather leaders that partial to see how to rescue their people. I call this a success from poverty. In the Catro corridor, partial, because elements in the society still carried on from tradition that negate. I call this progress. In the Catro corridor, what we call reactionary, reacting negatively vis-a-vis positive progress. These are the practices of fragmented and depending on only nature to provide the passive from tradition. It is more reliable than if we grow the passive. Once I had that partial success, by 1995, I went to the whole country reacting and gave all and sundry the message of transformation. However, like the Jews,
vis-a-vis
many people are
These are the practices of fragmentation.
Are waiting for another Messiah. Even when the message is clear and verifiable. Verifiable how? Visit the cattle only nature wilderness, Engando, country like Kesi Ohai, which is now an area of some modern.
Once I had that partial success by 1995,
producing millions of liters of milk per day, the whole country
reacting
and
in
gave
all and sundry
for the local
the
market
message
and
of
for export.
transformation. The Jews vis-a-vis
Many
positive
people
progress.
have hit
These are the practices of
$106 million
are waiting for another Messiah. Even when the message
Nigeria
is clear,
is now going
and
to also
verifiable.
buy our powdered milk
visit the
US
cow,
dollars
visit the cattle
only nature wilderness, Engando, country like Kesi Ohai,
which is now an
area
area of some modern. Once I had that partial success by 1995,
producing millions of liters transformed per day. So could the others. In the manifesto, the whole country
reacting and gave all and sundry
of 1996, we put forward
for the local market
The more
for transformation. The Jews vis-a-vis
many
positive
people are
progress.
as model
These are the practices of
106 million
the
roads passed
for another Messiah. Even when the message
Nigeria for
is
zero
clear,
grazing diary
is now going
and
to
also
verify
food for production,
about
food crop production,
powdered milk. Visit
and
the
bigger
cow,
dollars, poultry
visit the
150
cattle,
in the backyard, and fish farming near the wetland.
which is now an
This was the
of
medicine.
some modern. Once
small
I had
orders.
that partial success by 1995,
Producing millions of liters
transformed
per day.
so could the
Those
others.
with bigger pieces of land
In the
were more
manifesto,
flexible,
all
would help the
and
country grow
of
and
1996,
participate in
we
producing
put forward
products
the local market
before
for transformation.
that needed large-scale production
to
make economic growth. So the country needed such as cotton, maize, sugarcane, rice
Even when the
Nigeria
message
for
is
zero
clear,
grazing dairy,
is now going to verify
in
and
terms
buy
of
food
funding
for production,
the latter
food
crop
crop,
production
powdered
is
milk,
supported
visit
and
the
bigger
cow,
dollars by
visit the cattle,
Development Bank in the backyard and fish farming near the wetland. The 4 acres model group
which is now an
that I decided this was the medicine needed
once I
grants
had that partial
or
success
soft loans
by 1990.
direct from government. We started with the
Bigger pieces of land.
PMF, Plan for Modernization of Agriculture. These were all money put
to
for
help the country grow
aside
from
for this
1996.
participate in
Now
producing
put forward
products,
the local market
operation wealth creation, large-scale production, and now to make it economic. These efforts were for agriculture. With the non-agricultural or broad spectrum activities,
now going to
we have found in place the following. The latter women fund supported fund, and now recently in yoga. With all the pre-PDM funds needed most, where the government officials were the ones selecting. We started with the bigger pieces of land. PMF, especially with operational wealth creation, were all money put to initially work well.
from 1996.
Indeed, the household products, the non-money sector, operational wealth creation climbed from 68% to make it 39%. This was most commendable to agriculture. However, the non-agriculture started picking up complex roles in the farm activities of the following. The latter only fund supported palliative and they supply us bad quality with all materials. The pre-PDM fund palliative needed access where they bring overpriced were the ones items selecting. We started with the That is when I decided that the UPDF must get out of this effort to got the image of the wider force was going to have rules by the mistakes who had lost their straightforward. I started picking up moreover, the ultimate aim of the NRM that the stakeholders the beneficiaries of this project must manage their affairs. Suppliers. That was the debate we had in the cabinet. Materials. When people are saying, no, we should continue with the army, I said, no, overpriced people must learn how to manage. That is when I decided that the UPDF, their affairs, they are not treated. The wider you can help them to manage their affairs. Hence, the need for the stakeholders, farmers, straightforward, artisans, the ultimate aim of the NRM that is form the circles and the beneficiaries of this parish must manage their affairs or at the constituency that was the Yoga. This is the correct ultimate solution. I've started touring and inspecting the 18 zones of Uganda. Their affairs. The 18 zones of Uganda, they are not treated. Masaka, Mengo, what is called Mengo, the district of Mukono, where and all that. The need for the stakeholders. Vende, artisans, Ankole, Toro, Bunyoro, Soga Circles, Sebei, Parish, Paramoja, or at the constituency for the Yoga. Lango, Achori, Westnail, and Madi. The correct I started with Achori between the 23rd and the 24th of February and in 18 zones. Straight away, there were 18 zones told me of the parasites that were like flies swarming around the PDM, the district, and the Myogamani. I will decisively follow up the attempted stealing of the PDM and the Myogamani in Acholi. And if they tampered with the money, they will pay for that treachery. They will be an example for the rest of the potential flies. Lango, Acholi, Westnail, and Madi. The correct I started with Acholi. 10,500 February 94 PDM circles are to be formed straight away. As of now, 9,538 cycles, 90% of the time the PDM have been formed. That's what the Secretariat told us, the attempted stealing. But I have read the report of the Parliament. If the Speaker sent me the report, there are many observations there that point out the weaknesses, the risk, the potential. Meanwhile, I myself, in Acholi, I heard from the Wananchi a number of bad actions. 94 PDM resistance group are to be formed straight away. As of the wards, 9,000 where somebody called commercial officer, 90% of the time called a meeting secretly. That's what a few people told us leadership. But for the parish model, I have read them, they want to find a way of stealing the money. They didn't involve the or parish. They didn't involve many observations there. And yet we say all people in the parish, the witnesses, who want to engage in reconciliation should join the circle. I myself, as long as they are adults, 18 and above. I heard from the one age, that is the number of the plan. All abusers in the parish must join. Must be told. If they don't want to join, that's up to them, but they must be invited. Because like in this issue of Guru, somebody announced the meeting at leadership at 9 in the morning for the parish board. The meeting happened at 2, and a few people created the leadership. And yet, that was one issue which I picked up, and of course I will follow it up. Who want to engage in then in Aswa, as long as they were called adults, 18 and above. I heard from the one. Instead of going to the parish, they were called to the sub-county, all abusers, so that people get tired and don't go. And when they were called to go to the sub-county, they were told, invite each parish, bring 30. Who told you to call like in this issue? This is not indirect elections. Somebody announced of 30. The parish circle is for all members. The meeting happened at 2. They be organized in their collective people. The ones of bananas, the ones of dairies, but all who want to engage in West creation must join. Then in Aswa, if there is anything that is not clear there, we are called. Then at the right time, instead of going to the parish, the Minister of Local Government was called to the sub-county. So that people then in another area, I think when they were called Aswa again, they were told to pay some money, bring 30 for membership. Now, this is not indirect election. We are going to follow up on this. And this one I got direct from the people for all members. So these things are not very clever because we organize their collective people. If you steal, we shall come and find out. But all who want to. That's why when I went to Acholi first day, I visited some of these farms. If there is anything that is not, and then I had a meeting with the leaders. Then at the right time, and from the leaders I was able to get a lot of information from government while we were in this. And then the following day I was on a public meeting. Then in another area, so how will you steal? I think because we are going to find out again. They wasted your time and ruining your future. Bring 30 for membership. So, but according to the figures now of the secretariat, they say 90% the parish have created the circle. How? Is this the good way? If you steal, or the correct way? We shall find out. That's why because I will go there and meet the people farms, and I encourage you to go and meet the leaders. Then at the right time, and from the leaders, we are sending shillings 100 million per parish and then per annum. I was on a public meeting. In another area, assuming each borrower takes shillings 1 million, that will account for 1 million households per annum. Again, this is another confusion. So, but according to the figures, you don't know what the problem is. They say 90%. We talked about 1 million have created in the circle. As an example, this is the good way, and the reason we talked about 1 million, the correct way, we are using the example of coffee. That's why this was the other last year, I think, and I encourage you to go and to plant 1 acre of coffee. You need 450 seedlings. Shillings 100 million calculated. At that time the price was something which I don't remember. Assuming but borrower to get 100 or 450 seedlings, that will account for 1 million spend 180,000 shillings of the 1 million.
This is another confusion. But according to the figures,
So the borrower
you don't know what the problem
will remain with 820,000
We talked about
to do other things. That's why we say 1 million. But these confusing people,
and the reason
they go and tell people, you can't borrow unless you want to borrow 1 million. No, if I want to borrow 200,000, why should you stop? Total confusion.
last year, I think. And I encourage you.
No, because they said 1 million, you must borrow 1 million. No, I don't want 1 million. I want 200,000.
You need 450.
That's better for you, because that you can lend more people.
And at that time the price was.
Why do you find that as a problem?
Assuming you must borrow to get 100.
This was also another issue. You must borrow 1 million.
That will account for 1 million.
No, I don't want 1 million. I want 200,000.
This is another confusion. But according to the figures,
And that becomes an issue. I can't borrow. Why? Because I'm not borrowing 1 million
we talked about
to do other things.
That's why we said.
Then another group came, but these confusing people, and said, you want to borrow more than 1 million. No, if I want to borrow 200,000, why should you stop? You cannot manage to. You can borrow 1 million here,
Last year, I think.
you go and add on other money somewhere else.
You must borrow 1 million.
No, that was our answer. Some people wanted more money.
You need 450.
And we said, if you want more money than that, then you are too big for our PDM.
And at that time the price was.
Why do you go to UDB?
Assuming you must borrow
Qualify for UDB.
get 100.
This was also another issue. Oh, but here, 1 million. We can only give you 1 million and you go and top up somewhere else.
200,000.
And that the circles I can't borrow. Why? That have been ready borrowing 1 million. Have been given shilling 25 million each. This money has been sent. And another group came. Consequently, shillings 238.45 billion has been sent directly from the treasury to the bank accounts of the circles. Thank you so much for doing that. Even if the money is sitting there, let it sit there. Until the circles are ready, we are too big for our PDM. Much of the money is still on the accounts. Qualified for UDB. Another, according to the treasury, over here, 1 million. Another shilling 476 million 29 is at the treasury waiting to be sent. And that once the original portion has been utilized, that have been ready for 1 million. By June 2023, shillings 1,059 billion, that is 1 trillion, 38 will be sent. Last financial year, shillings 131.4 billion was released. And I'm glad I read the report of the MPs, which the speaker sent me. This 131 billion is not properly accounted for. Much of the money, because each parish on the accounts was supposed to get 17 million. Another, according to the treasury, but according to what the speaker sent me, some got 7, some got 10. So where did the other money go? Is at the treasury waiting to be sent. And that once the original portion has been. But don't worry, Uganda is here. We shall get you. Shillings. Don't worry. I don't know why you people you worry. That's why you develop blood pressure. That is 1 trillion. The money was sent last financial year. Pesa ndiye kwenye 1.4 billion. And I'm glad I Gente ndiye kwenye. Even if the speaker sent me, this 131 billion is we say in our language. The sentence in the was supposed to get 17. The sentence that according to the treasury, but according to what the speaker wrote, so where did the other money go? Where is the money? Very simple. These are just waiting to be sent. And that was the original portion. But don't worry. I'm very proud that the NRM has promised and sent the money. Don't worry. I don't know why you people you worry. That's why you develop blood. Those who eat that money, the money was sent. That money is toxic. They will get problem from it. And I'm glad Yoga, shillings 100 billion has been sent each year. Hence, 200 billion in the last 2 financial years. The issue I see is for you to answer the following question. I'm very proud that the NRM, who are the Vasasodoti, has promised for socio-economic transformation. I don't know why you people you worry. Because you see, when I read the report of the MPs, they were talking, there is somebody called focal person. They will get problem from at the district. All those people, commercial officer, I don't know why. But the question is, shilling is 100 billion. Who are the Vasasodoti has been sent each year of the principle in the last 2 financial years of socio-economic transformation. Bani awakiriza the socio-economic transformation. Who are those who believe is for you and who should answer the foolish question? I'm very proud that the NRM should answer the question. And I will or is it the chief administrative officer, the district, all those people, the commercial officer, commercial officer, I don't know why. Can we use the cattle corridor experience for reference? Because I am here, I'm not dead. I am here. If I was dead, you would say there was the late so and so. No, of socio-economic transformation. Tiekan. I am here. I'm not a good fiction. And who should answer the foolish question? I am here as as a priest of preaching socio-economic transformation among illiterate people. So I no longer want to be polite, because normally I'm polite. No, please. Is it the chief administrative officer, the district, all those people, the politeness, commercial officer, can also exist. Can we use the cattle corridor experience for reference? Because I am here, I'm not dead. Can we use the cattle corridor experience for reference? The late so and so. No. Who authored and preached the gospel of socio-economic transformation in the cattle corridor? Because remember, in the cattle corridor, there were 2 jobs: to think of a solution as a priest, and then preach it, of preaching socio-economic transformation among illiterate people. Disturbing you with authoring. So I no longer want to be polite, because normally I'm polite. But preach. The chief administrative officer, preach. The politeness, can also exist. Who authored and preached the gospel of socio-economic transformation in the cattle corridor? Can we use the district commissioner? Because the districts were there. Who district commissioner, the Southern chief, the Gomorrah chief? No, it was people of conviction, of mission, that authored and preached the gospel, Injili, of socio-economic transformation, of a solution. They were not paid and then preached it. They had no appointment, socio-economic transformation, but they wanted their parents and people with authoring to get the mission to be polite, because normally I'm polite, but the right of knowledge of socio-economic transformation, so that they become prosperous. Who authored? Similarly with PDM, gospel of socio-economic transformation, and the yoga, the cattle corridor. It must be the political people that must be the Vasasodoti, and the Injili of socio-economic transformation, because they are the ones that volunteered to be elected for leadership, that authored and encouraged the gospel, volunteered. I want to lead you of socio-economic transformation. They were not paid.
preaching.
There are no appointments that will be elected now. They want their parents and people
with authority.
get the Shona
to be
external
polite,
around
normal and polite.
Lutera. The right of knowledge. Of social. Now instead of reading of Lutera, some people try to do ETAU, the courage. Similarly with PDF. What is it carrying on your head? And then yoga. Yeah, you must be the political people. Yeah, there was sociology. Whatever it is, of socio-economic transformation. Because they are the ones that bakulonda okukulembera abantu sikubeetika. You were elected to lead people, not to carry them. And you lead by preaching.
And they are preaching. There are no appointments that will be elected now. They want their parents
and don't tell me about money because I'm here. I let people without money. I'm here. Now instead of reading, I let them to fight, not to eat matoke. I say this one fight and die, but for a good cause. And this must be the political people. Yeah, reading is not money. Don't bring up issues of money. Leadership from where and to where? Leadership from tradition to poverty to prosperity. And you lead by preaching.
And they are preaching.
It is good for the civil servants.
They want their parents
don't tell me about money because I'm here. I let people without money. When we were here, mobilizing, sometimes some of the civil servants I let people fight, not to eat matoke. If they were not possible for us, we would continue to go ahead. Fight and die, but for a good cause. However, if they do not, the change makers can force them to implement even what they do not like or what they do not understand. Leadership from where and to where. Therefore, in my leadership from tradition, if the money is not used this year in the right way, let us keep it. Let us not panic. The issue is not to spend the money. For the civil servants, the issue is to spend the money correctly. Don't tell me about money because I'm here. I let people. If they are not ready, let's keep it here. Let's keep it. Not to divert it. Keep it. The civil servants so that the fund builds up. Because remember, if they were not possible for us, this money is really a nucleus for the parish bank. If they do not, this year we are bringing 100 million. Can force them. Next year another 100 million. If next year but one another, in 4 years 400 million. Don't understand. And if they want members of the circle, once they are convinced, in my leadership, they can start. If the money is not savings and adding on, let us keep it. So that the company big bank for them the money. For the civil servants, issues to make the money correct. So don't talk of bringing it to take it back. No. Keep it aside until they are ready to use it. Bring 100 million. Can force them. Next year, another 100. They are laughing at